Morning, all. All right, so it is a chilly one here, and it's going to be chilly for the next few days. So if you hear a hum in the background, that's going to be my space heater. So we got 9 games starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and this is the first time this year I think this has taken place where they have this many games starting at 4 o'clock my time. Two more starting an hour later, one starting an hour later, one starting an hour later. So the one benefit is by the NHL putting it this far into the season, I have to pick and choose which games I watch, but it's a little bit easier. Ottawa, Buffalo, neither of those teams are near the playoffs, so I would not be following that one as much as the others. Also, San Jose, Montreal, neither of those teams really in the running for a playoff spot either. It's how I have to do it. And then at 5 o'clock, um, yeah, I'll do my best. But again, this is one of those situations where I used to really stress myself out, and I really don't stress myself out anymore because there's only so much I can do. One person and all that. So starting at 7 Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, we have the Ottawa Senators and the Buffalo Sabres meeting for the third of 4 times this year. On October 24th, Buffalo won that matchup 6-4. On December the 31st, Ottawa wins 5-1. The next meeting will be on March the 27th. Ottawa's 14-22 on the season. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. In terms of scoring since December the 10th, so that's how far back I've gone with the scoring for this video. And I've got the top scorer for each team and one player that the scoring is a little bit slower than I think you might want it to be or that they might want it to be right now. So Batherson leads them in scoring since December the 10th with 14 games played, 6 goals, 6 assists. Tarasenko in the 12 games he's played since then, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. On the Buffalo side, they're 17, 20, and 4. They're 4, 5, and 1 in their last 10. Mittelstadt leads them in scoring over their last 13 games. 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points. Peterka stands out as one that I think has more talent than what the stats would show. 13 games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. He's due for a goal is what I'm saying. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Anaheim and Carolina. This is the second meeting. The first meeting was October the 15th. 6-3 win for Anaheim that night. That was the first nightmare run over on the West Coast that Carolina had. For the Ducks, they're 14, 25, and 1. They're 3, 6, and 1 in their last 10. They're coming off that win over Nashville. Since December the 10th, Terry's been their leading scorer. 11 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. Silverberg having a really rough year. Just the 1 assist in 14 games over that same time period. Carolina, 22, 13, and 5 overall. They're 6, 1, and 3 in their last 10 games. Sebastian Aho, their leading scorer since December 10th. 13 games, 7 goals, 17 assists, 24 points. Kokaniemi stands out as one that you would expect a little more from. 13 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Oilers and the Detroit Red Wings. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again in Edmonton on February the 13th. For the Oilers, 21, 15, and 1 is their overall record. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. Since December 10th, McDavid in 13 games has 6 goals, 15 assists, 21 points. Evander Kane, considering the run that the Oilers have been on, it's remarkable Kane hasn't been that productive. 12 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. So Kane's due to get it going, which doesn't bode well for the rest of the NHL since the Oilers are, 15-3 in their last 18. Detroit, 20, 16, and 4 overall. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Patrick Kane leads them in scoring since December 10th. 14 games, 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points, meaning it'll be Kane versus Kane in this one. Kopp, 13 games, 6 assists for him since December the 10th. So Kopp, a player that you're looking for more goals from, but that's kind of been the story since he went to Detroit, it seems. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the LA Kings and the Florida Panthers is the second and final meeting as well. November 16th, LA won at home 2-1. We'll see how it goes with them on the road. LA's 20, 10, and 7 overall, but they're 3, 4, and 3 over their last 10 games. Kopitar, their leading scorer since December the 10th. 13 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Kaliev, really struggling to put the puck in the net right now. He has 2 assists in 11 games over that same time period. Florida's 26, 12, and 3 overall. They're 8-2 over their last 10 games. They've won 8 in a row. Matthew Tkachuk in 14 games, 7 goals, 13 assists, 20 points since December 10th. That's pretty good numbers. Montour not having the same year this year he had last year. 14 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points for Montour. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between San Jose and Montreal. This is the second and final meeting between them as well on November 24th in San Jose. It was a shootout victory for Montreal, 3-2. For San Jose, they're 9-29-3. They've lost all 10 of their most recent 10 games. In fact, they've lost their most recent 12 games. So Granlund leads in scoring since December the 10th. 14 games, 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 points. I've mentioned Luke Cunnin with no points before in a video. I remember, but here he is again. No points in 13 games since December the 10th. And while he's not an offensive dynamo, he should be producing some points soon, right? Montreal 17-17-6 overall. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. What can I say? They like being 500. Suzuki leads them in scoring since December the 10th. 13 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Gallagher's been all around it, not producing, though, 1 goal, 2 assists in the 13 games since December the 10th. The next 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific start is between Vancouver and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again in Vancouver on February 27th. Vancouver 27-11-3, ridiculous record. 7-2-1 over their last 10 games, and now they start the second half of their season. Pettersson leads them in scoring since December the 10th. 13 games, 9 goals, 7 assists, 16 points. Mikheyev stands out as a player who, again, all around the net, not getting the goals. 13 games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. To go to Joshua, though, what a goal scorer. Anyways, Pittsburgh 20-15-4 is their overall record. They are 7-2-1 in their last 10 as well, so Vancouver better bring their A game tonight. Gensel in 13 games since December the 10th, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points to lead them in scoring. Riley Smith had a hot start. It's faded since then. 13 games, 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between New Jersey and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again January 27th as well as February 25th. New Jersey's 21-15-2 overall. They are 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. Bratt leads them in scoring since December 10th. 13 games, 3 goals, 10 assists, 13 points. Holtz in that same time period, 13 games, 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points. Holtz had a good start. That's kind of fallen off too. Tampa Bay 20-17-5 overall. They're 6-4 over their last 10 games. Kucherov leading them in scoring since December 10th. 13 games, 9 goals, 11 assists, 20 points. Cirelli stands out as one that hasn't produced over that same time period. A goal and an assist for 2 points in 13 games. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Seattle and Washington. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on March the 14th. I kind of like Washington here, but, because Seattle hasn't had a regulation loss in a while and Washington needs a win. But anyway, Seattle 17-14-9 overall. They're 8-0-2 in their last 10 games. Dunn leads them in scoring since December 10th. 12 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. Cartier has, again, been prominent, not producing, though. 12 games, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points for Cartier. For the Caps, 19-13-6 is their overall record. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. Strome leads them in scoring since the 10th of December. 14 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. Evgeny Kuznetsov standing out again for the wrong reasons. A goal and an assist for 2 points in 13 games. Of course, rumors that he wants out and they're willing to trade him. But again, when you're not producing, you've got a really high cap hit. It is difficult to trade an asset like that. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between Toronto and the New York Islanders. The Islanders won the first meeting between the two on December 11th in overtime, 4-3. These teams will meet again on February the 5th. Toronto's 21-10-7 overall. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10 games. They're not playing a California team. We'll see how it goes for them tonight. Nylander, since December the 10th, leading them in scoring 14 games, 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. Matthew Nyes, 12 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. I think he's going to have an uptrend in his point scoring in the second half of the season. The Islanders, 18-12-10 overall. They're 4-4-2 in their last 10 games. Nelson leads them in scoring since the 10th of December. 14 games, 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. Engvall, who's been a healthy scratch once over this period. 13 games, just the 1 goal for Pierre Engvall. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the Rangers and the St. Louis Blues. So I go from having 9 games to try to track to 11. And then it'll be 12. So, again, one guy. But yeah, so the first of 2 meetings between the Rangers and the Blues. They'll meet again in New York on March the 9th. The Rangers, 26-11-2 overall. They're 5-4-1 over their last 10 games. Panarin leading them in scoring since the 10th of December. 14 games, 10 goals, 10 assists, 20 points. Bonino in 13 games, just the 2 assists for Bonino. On the St. Louis side, they're 20-18-1 overall. They're 6-4 over their last 10 games. Robert Thomas leading them in scoring since the 10th of December. 12 games, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. Please do not make a drinking game out of me giving the date. Shen, 12. You're going to the hospital. 1 goal for Shen in 12 games over that period of time. Braden Shen had a really slow start, got it together, and now his scoring has slowed down yet again. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between Chicago and Winnipeg. This is the third of 4 meetings. They've split the first two. On December 2nd, it was a 3-1 win for Winnipeg. On December 27th, Chicago won in overtime 2-1. So this has not been an easy victory for Winnipeg. Now, Chicago's without Bedard, so is it easier? The fourth meeting will be on February 23rd. Chicago's 1-1 since Bedard got hurt. They're 12-27-2 overall. They're 2-7-1 over their last 10 games. I didn't put Bedard on the board. He's their leading scorer since December the 10th, but he's not in the lineup, so I went with Kurashev, who's second. In 14 games, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Reichel still stands out for not producing, just the 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points in 15 games. Now it's the time for him to step up. Winnipeg 27-9-4 overall. They are 9-0-1 in their last 10 games. Ehlers leading them in scoring since December the 10th. 15 games, 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points. Appleton just has the 5 assists in 15 games. He's kind of due for a goal, and part of that incredible depth scoring that Winnipeg has. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start between the Flames and the Coyotes. Taking the Coyotes tonight. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on January 16th as well as April the 14th. The Flames are 18-18-5 overall. They're 6-4 over their last 10 games. Coleman, 14 games, 10 goals, 6 assists, 16 points. Their leading scorer since the 10th of December. Dubé, 13 games, no points. It really surprises me to see Dylan Dubé with no points. Makes me wonder if the Flames might look to make a move there. Because back in the day, you'd see a guy who wasn't producing, you'd end up getting traded. But now with the salary cap as it is and everything, you never know. On the Arizona side, they're 20-17-2 overall. They're 6-4 over their last 10 as well. Keller leading them in scoring since the 10th of December. 13 games, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. And Dumba, just the 1 assist in 13 games. How long did we have that rumor of Besser for Dumba? Just imagine if they'd done it. Yep. Notice I never once wanted to trade Besser for Dumba. Never made that suggestion. 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Boston and Vegas. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on February 29th, as it is a leap year. Boston's 24-8-8 overall. They're 5-3-2 over their last 10 games. They've had back-to-back losses in extra time. We'll see how this one goes tonight. Pastrnak leading them in scoring since the 10th of December. 14 games, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. Zaka, just the 1 goal with 5 assists for 6 points in 11 games over that same period of time. For the Vegas Golden Knights, they're 23-13-5. They're 3-7 over their last 10. Vegas is in trouble, but Vegas is also dealing with a lot of injuries, so you got to take that with a grain of salt and realize they should get healthy and should right their record. The question then becomes, will Vancouver be too far ahead for them to catch when that happens? We'll see. Vegas, Stone leading him in scoring since December the 10th. 13 games, 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points. Petrangelo, just the 4 assists in 13 games over that same period of time. And a nightmare plus-minus as well of a -10, I believe, when I looked at it this morning. So, at any rate, let me know your winners in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I figured that adding, who's scoring well over the last month and who isn't might be good for people who do the fantasy game too. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.